Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast, another segment of 20 random questions. And tonight's guest is professional boxer Jonathan Rodriguez. How you doing, Jonathan?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great. I was so anxious to get you on the show. I actually forgot to introduce myself. I'm actually John the Truth Theory. Everybody's aware of that, but I'd like to make sure everybody is aware of it. But thanks again for coming on, man. I love the belts. If people don't know who you are, they need to figure out who you are real quick because I didn't know who you were until the other night. I got to be honest, man. And when you came in that ring and they were talking about, oh, he's stepping up, he's going to fight a former world champion, and all this is going to be his biggest test. I was sitting back, I was waiting for an explosive war, and you caught him in the first round, and I think you caught everybody off guard in the crowd, including him. I mean, you rocked him, and then you went after him like you're taught to. I mean, you saw him hurt, you finished him, and I honestly, I mean, I know you said in the interview in the ring, like you said, that was our plan. We knew we would get him out of there, but you even said you were shocked the fact that you got him out of there in the first round. So talk to me about that a little bit. First, tell everybody who your opponent was and the fact you were on TV, what app you were on, and things like that.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I'm Jonathan Rodriguez. I'm the WBA Intercontinental Champion of the world now, and the WBC Silver Champion. And I fought this guy from Birmingham, England. His name was Kyle Jafai. He was a 2008 Olympian as well as the longest reigning world champion from 2016, I believe, all the way to 2020 when he had his first loss to the number one pound for pound in the world, Chocolatito Gonzalez. And Chocolatito wasn't able to stop him till like the ninth round. So like you said, I was even shocked myself because like the number one pound for pound couldn't get him out of there early, and I did it within 2 minutes and 17 seconds in the first round.
So let me ask you something, and I mean, don't let your pride get in the way on this. Now, we all know that you prepared hard for this fight. I understand that. But now you were going in thinking, okay, this guy's a former world champion, and you were thinking about everything you just mentioned. Now, when you threw that shot, you can't tell me you thought that was going to end the fight. I mean, were you thinking in your mind? I mean, sometimes lucky's better than good.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
was that do you think that was a lucky shot that you caught him with, honestly, or I mean, were you trying to catch him like that?
to be honest with you, it was something we seen during training camp, doing a lot of film studies. The times he's been dropped, it's been with the right hand. And, it was more of like, I practiced that same exact shot. I, I can't even tell you how many times we did practice that shot. Now, I will tell you, it was planned to land that right hand, but it wasn't. I didn't think he was gonna go. I knew I was gonna land it because, I don't know if you noticed, like that I was feigning, and then as I feinted, I touched. So like I made sure I was in range to throw the shot. So as soon as I felt his glove, I'm like, all right, I'm at a good distance to throw it. So it was. We did practice that shot, but what did I think it was gonna end it? No, I did not. I thought he was gonna come in strong and give me a good 10 rounds, maybe even like finish the fight. At a decision, but I thought, coming into the fight, I thought I was gonna be able to hurt him, but not as much as I did. To be honest with you, it caught me off guard.
And the reason I bring that up, and I'm not doubting you at all, because I already knew that you probably had studied it on tape, because I was a boxing manager as well. I've done a lot of studying on tape, but a lot of fans, they don't understand that sometimes. They see a shot like that and they're like, oh my God, he got so lucky. He wasn't even preparing that. But they don't understand that we see things in tape that an opponent does over and over as a bad habit. And if you see the same thing in like 6-7 fights, it's a bad habit that he's done through his career. So then, like you said, you prepared that punch over and over and over, and you just sometimes when you see the opening, you don't even think about it. You just throw it, and then it lands, and you're like, wow, okay, it actually worked.
And actually, what led me to throw that shot at the moment I did it is, I don't know if you noticed, as soon as the bell rung, first thing I did was throw a feint. I seen he kept dropping his left hand every time I feinted, so I jab, I feint again. I'm like, all right, he did it twice. So if he does it on this third time, I'm gonna just let it go. I'm not even gonna think about it. Then I feinted, and that's when he dropped it. So I just threw it. It's, it was more like studying outside the ring and as well as inside the ring, because
And that's
like
what go ahead.
like any fighter. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, what I was just gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like it helps. See, a lot of fighters don't understand that preparation and taking time, just like in football, baseball, whatever, to study your opponent and watch some of that tape will sometimes help you in the ring and make your fights a lot easier and a lot quicker. And I mean, you're a perfect example of that. You studied that one shot and you got him out of there in one round, and you saved yourself a war.
Absolutely, we like we always say, we don't get paid for overtime.
Right. I know that was a beautiful night for you, man. You were like, damn, I didn't even break a sweat. I already got a belt, and now I'm going home.
I actually just got my voice back too, because after they stopped the fight, like, I was so surprised. I started yelling, my voice was gone. I just got it back.
So now let me ask you something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw a report. Did he not retire after that fight?
Yeah, right after the fight, he said that was his last fight, and like that was it. That was the end of his career. He ended his career with 27-2.
So now, dude, as a fighter, do you have mixed emotions about that, retiring another fighter?
I don't know, cause I feel like that was just something, and I might be wrong. I feel like that was just something that he just put in there, just he lost, because the winner of this fight is actually getting a title shot, a world title shot, 2024. So I feel like if it was like, because I was a 7-1 underdog, so I was meant to lose the fight. So if I was to lose the fight, I feel like he would have kept going and got his title shot to become a 2 division world champion. So I felt like that was just something he did to just let everybody know I was gonna retire anyways.
Okay. So in a nice way, no, you don't feel bad that you put him in retirement.
No, because if it would have been me that lost, he would have went and got his title shot.
Yeah, and he wouldn't have cared what you were going to do after that.
Yeah, and plus, as a fighter, we can't feel bad. We do sign a contract. We know what we're getting ourselves into. So there's no there. I don't see why we need to feel bad for whatever we do.
No, I agree with you, man. You got to come with the chip on your shoulder and the hunger. You start catching
Absolutely.
feelings, that's when you're going to get knocked out.
Because there's always that question of what if you would have did that to me, So
You're right. It could have went the other way.
Yeah, it sucks, getting somebody out of their career, but at the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to do. It's our job to go out there and do anything and everything we have to do to get the win. So
no, you're right. And at the end of the day, man, you should feel real proud on what you did, because like you said, that wasn't just somebody that walked in there and you just beat some no-name guy. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty impressive the way you did it. So
yeah, I basically, that fight took me from a nobody to a somebody, because nobody knew me going into a fight into that fight. But I let my presence known in the bantamweight division. Just going out there and doing what I did and the way I did it against Kaja Five, the longest reigning world champion.
Yeah, I think they're gonna know who you are from now on.
Absolutely.
All right, so you ready for these random 20 questions?
Go ahead.
All right. So I don't want to talk about boxing yet in the first question. We'll get to that after. But I just want the fans to know, I know you've talked about your background and stuff a little bit in some other interviews, but for my fans that might not know, I just want you to kind of touch base on it a little bit. So question 1, tell me about your background and your upbringing a little bit, if you don't mind.
Well, I was adopted at the age of 11. Yeah, at the age of 11, you know, growing up, I only lived with my mom back in Puerto Rico. You know, we didn't have the best upbringing. You know, we went through a lot of obstacles and stuff, and it got to a point where we needed to move out here to the United States. You know, to get a better life. And then I was living in New York for like 2 years, I believe. And you know, I don't know. Up to my knowledge, I don't know the reason why my mom found my dad, and then you know my biological dad, and then she just like out of nowhere was like, "Here you go," and gave us up to him. I didn't even know him at the moment, and then everything was good for like the first 2 years, and then like the third year, just like everything exploded. You know, he was an alcoholic, started beating me up. Like I wasn't eating. You know, I was along with my brother too, and yeah, it was bad. And then my coach, he noticed that in the gym. You know, I would come in the gym, you know, like with my head down or whatever, because I was always that. Oh, I need to be tough. You know, so like I wouldn't talk about anything or whatever was going on in the house. And then my coach got it from my brother. You know, he sat there and talked to him, and they told him everything, and he didn't even think about it twice. He took action. You know, took me and my brother to his house, and then without telling his wife, you know, without telling my mom now, he just did it. And then you know, after we was already over here, they had the whole conversation. Then they ended up going to court to get custody, and then yeah, we just been here ever since, and that's when my life did a full 360.
So now, is your brother doing good now too?
Yeah, he's doing good. You know, he got his own apartment. You know, he got his daughter and everything. So he's doing really good. He didn't stick to the boxing, but other than that, you know, just happy to see him doing good. He's always been there for me too. You know, along my career.
So now, if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to elaborate on this, you don't even have to answer it if you don't want to. But do you have any contact with your biological mother or your biological father at all?
Not my biological father. You know, I feel like he did so much that like, I feel like I don't. I feel like I don't need to talk to him. You know, at the end of the day, he is my dad. I'm always gonna respect him, but you know, I just feel like I don't need to talk to him at all. You know, he did what he did. He knows what he did and stuff. So, and you know, my mom, yeah, I talk to her here and there. You know, there's no hard feelings. You know, she must have been going through something to do what she did. You know, we never heard it. Like I never knew why, but you know, she has her reasons. So you know, but I still
Yeah,
talk to her.
yeah, and hopefully someday she'll sit down with you and maybe she'll explain everything. But it's good though that you ended up in a good place though. You know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm. It's like I said, you know, at the post fight interview, you know, God works in mysterious ways. There's a reason why I went through what I went through.
All right. Question two. So how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
Uh, well, not only because of what I was going through, but you know, I was going like I was heading to the wrong path. You know, I was fighting a lot in the streets, and you know, getting in trouble in school and all that. So I just looked at it as a way of I could do what I love to do, which is fight, because I was fighting all the time. And instead of getting in trouble, I could get a trophy, or you know, eventually get paid for what I like to do, which was fighting.
But I mean, you didn't just wake up one morning and say, "I'm just going to walk into a boxing gym." How did that happen?
Uh, Pretty much, because I heard about the gym, and then I just got tired of getting in trouble. So I was just like, you know what? I could just fight and get a trophy, like I said, and not get in trouble. That's pretty much how it was. And plus, oh, another thing, I started to lose weight because you know I was a big kid. You know, I used to weigh 165. I fight at 118 now, but yeah, that was one of the reasons too. But it was mainly like, you know what? I'm tired of getting in trouble. I want to get something for fighting instead of you know just constantly yelled at.
Okay, now the coach you got now though was your first coach when you walked in the gym?
Who?
The coach that you have now, your dad,
Yeah, yeah. That
that was your very first coach.
yeah, he's the one that made me who I am today.
Okay. All right, question 3. What boxers have inspired you in your career?
Um, Wilfredo Gomez, Finito Lopez, and my brother actually. Well, not my blood brother, but he's like my brother. Ronald Cruz. He fought Errol Spence. That's one I used to look up to a lot too. Just training right next to him and everything. Um, yeah, those sort of named ones. And
Okay.
Trinidad, of course.
Oh, yeah, you better not leave Felix
Yeah,
Trinidad
Trinidad,
out of
of
there.
course.
All right, question 4. Do you have any hobbies outside the sport of boxing?
Well, outside the sport of boxing, I always like to draw. I don't know. It's just something about drawing that just calms me down. So when I'm not in the gym, I'm just here chilling. Just drawing.
So, what kinds of things do you draw? Do you do like portraits, landscapes, animals, cityscapes? What do you do?
Pretty much, it all depends on how I feel. Like I've done portraits, I've done like graffitis, I've done like I've sat outside and just like drew like the back of my house. Just it all depends on my mood.
Okay. All right, question 5. So, tell me what. Now, you pronounce your coach's name Indio, correct?
Yeah,
So, tell me what Indio and Carmen Rodriguez mean to you.
they to be honest, they mean the world to me. Like if it wasn't for them, honestly, I wouldn't like I don't know where I would be right now because like before they even got me, I was already heading to the wrong path. I was fighting. It got to the point where like I even started smoking at a young age before I even came in with them. I was like 11, doing whatever I wanted. Like honestly, like they mean the world to me. Like I love them just like if they were biological. I even changed
So,
my last name to their last name. I actually called them like I surprised them one day when I turned 18 and I just showed them the papers like I was officially Jonathan Rodriguez.
nice. So, now, was it a hard adjustment for you? Because you said you were out there running around, doing what you wanted to do, no discipline, kind of, and then you get put in an environment with your coach where there's going to be discipline. You can't be running around. So, was that adjustment hard for you?
At first, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like it was really hard because I'm used to doing what I want, and now like if I just walk out the house and then don't come back till late at night, there's gonna be consequences. Me growing up, it was like, all right, why are you telling me to not do this when I was just doing it the other day? It was hard,
So,
but it worked out for the best.
I thought I read a story somewhere that they actually took your cell phone away or something until you graduated. It was a long
Yeah,
period of time, right?
yeah, they took it. They took it like in like 11th grade because I was doing bad in school. And I hated it at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. I hated it at the moment. Especially when like me being young, talking to girls, they used to be like, "Oh, can I get your number?" I'd be like, "You know what? I left it in my locker, so just write it down and stuff like that." But yeah, it actually worked out because I was getting bad grades and stuff, and I ended up graduating with like a 3.9, I believe, almost a 4.0. Because they took the phone.
Wow. Okay. All right. Question 6. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
Um, you know what? One thing that my boxing fans don't know, they're used to seeing me, just like this great fighter or whatever. Like I'm always serious, but outside the gym on like my regular life, I'm just like I'm a real like down to earth person. Like you could probably just say like I'm like soft. Like I'm more of a loving person than just like I'm not always all about fighting. I love I'm a lover, to be honest. To everybody, I show love to everybody.
Okay. Question 7. If you could go on a date with any celebrity, what celebrity would you want to go on a date with?
uh that's hard. um I don't know. That's a hard one. I'll probably just go with J Lo, to be honest. I would I've always looked at her, since I was a kid, like dang. Yeah, I probably just have to go with J Lo.
Okay. Question 8. If you could go to dinner with any 4 people in the world, dead or alive, celebrities, people from history, old relatives that have passed, anything, what 4 people would be at your dinner table?
Right now, what one of the persons that I've always listened to, just like getting ready for fights, or just like whenever I felt like I didn't want to do anything no more, would be David Goggins. It would be that'd be one of them. He motivated me a lot. Um, I'd probably say Benito Lopez, to just pick out his brain, see how he used to think, and even stuff that he used to do to become successful like he did in his career. Um, who else? Um, I probably have to say, uh, let me see, those two. Um, Probably Tyson. The same, like his demeanor was crazy. It's something I always looked up to. It's something I like to go by. You gotta make him break first to win the first battle before you even fight him. And yeah, the last one, it's a relative of mine. He just passed away a few years ago. My grandpa. My mom's dad. Now. Him, like he meant a lot to me. And I feel like if he would have saw me who I am today, he'll be super proud. So I have those 4 to have dinner with.
Okay. Question 9. If you could have a conversation with any animal and it could talk back to you, what animal would you want to have a conversation with?
Hmm. Uh, I'd have to say a lion. Because no matter how weak a lion is, he always carries, and that's why they call him the king of the jungle. He could be at his weakest, and somehow, he still comes out on up top. I just got
Okay.
to pick his brain.
Question 10. What's something that you're very passionate about besides boxing?
Um, so something that I'm very passionate about besides boxing, and I just found this out myself. I noticed like I'm very passionate about just talking to the youth, like the younger kids and stuff, because I've been through so much at a young age that I feel like I could help that to guide the kids, and I'm very passionate about that. Like I've been through a couple schools already, talking to the youth and stuff, and I love doing it. As long as I can make an impact on a couple kids, that's more than enough for me. I just want them to do better.
Yeah, and that's something that you might think about doing more once your career is over, like being a motivational speaker and just going around and telling your story. Because, like you said, if you can change one kid's life, I mean, it's all worth it.
Absolutely.
Question 11. How has boxing affected your life in a positive manner and in a negative manner?
All right. So in a positive manner, um, you know, my work just speaks for itself. I'm getting a lot of love. I'm I became somebody that I never thought in my life I'll be. I'm actually inspiring other people. And in a negative way, it's just I don't think it's much negative. The only negative that I have to say, is just making the weight. It makes me suffer a little bit. Just not suffer in the fact that I have like of losing the weight. It's just more like I gotta stay on a strict diet. Being in a Spanish home, they be cooking all the time, and then I'm over here having to eat salads and stuff. That's like the only thing that I see negative. I don't see much negative in the sport, to be honest.
Okay. Question 12. Who are some of the bigger name boxers that you've had a chance to spar with?
Um, Jason Maloney and Andrew Maloney are the biggest names, and another one would be Kermit Cintron. You know, he said he's way bigger than me, but you know, I got to be in the ring with him and actually sparred him a few rounds and everything. So yeah, them three.
Okay. Question 13. Who was the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
To be honest with you, the biggest puncher I faced in the ring would, and I knocked him out in the third round, but it would be Ira Terry. You know, surprisingly, he has a lopsided record, but that guy could punch. He could punch hard. Like he threw a jab, and I'm like, yeah, I can't let this guy touch me. But with nothing, like he could freaking punch. That I probably have to say Ira Terry, to be honest.
Okay. Question 14. Can you tell me an interesting story so far out of your boxing career?
Out of my boxing career,
Yeah.
um, dang, I don't know, because I usually just put everything out there. To be honest, um, oh, there we go. Like, interesting story outside of my boxing career. When I was in middle school, I used to get bullied. That like by some kid. What? Because remember, I told you I was big, so I used to get bullied a lot for being big. And now that same kid that used to bully me, he's one of my biggest fans now. Yeah. And I show love back. You know, he did what he did, but if he didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have been who I am today.
Okay. Question 15. If you could hold any record in the Guinness Book of World Records, what record would you want to hold?
Hmm. I don't know. That's hard. I don't know. I probably just say the most miles like ran in a day, only because I like to push myself to the limit and see what I could really do. You know, you know what I mean? Like I like to challenge myself and see how far I could take it.
Okay. All right. Question 16. If you were to start your own business, what kind of business would you start?
Um, my own business. Let me see, because I don't want to tie it into boxing either, because that's already too much. Well, I don't think it would. I because I actually was talking about something like that to my dad. Like I told him I wanted to invest in and buy buildings and then turn those buildings into apartments, and then just whatever rent is or whatever that's gonna, yeah, probably just that, and then just get buildings and just make apartments, and I'll just make that my business, just renting apartments and everything.
Okay. Question 17. Who are some of the musical artists that you listen to when you train?
uh, I listen to Rod Wave is one of them. Lil Baby. I listen to Anna Lee, Anna Lee Chopper, Lil Wayne. If Yeah, those will be my main ones.
Okay. Question 18. If you had to go on a cross country road trip and you had to choose one comedian and one athlete to go with you, who would you choose?
A comedian, I'll probably choose Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. That's my favorite one. And an athlete, I probably can he be dead? Like,
Well, probably not because you can't take him on a road trip
I
with you.
mean, I. So I probably say Kevin Hart and let me see, and Michael Jordan.
Okay. That'd be an interesting road trip.
Yeah.
All right. Question 19. If you could box in a celebrity boxing match with any actor or athlete, who would you want your opponent to be?
I don't know. I probably just have to. I probably just have to go with Kevin Hart again. I feel like it'll be it. it would not only be fun, but he's probably gonna use that in one of his stand-ups. So it'll be dope to hear something coming from him.
And he actually trains a little bit in
Yeah,
boxing.
he's pretty sharp too to be a comedian. I've seen him. I'm like, all right, he can move.
Yeah, so it would definitely look entertaining because he kind of knows the techniques a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, question 20. What advice would you give a kid that wants to become a boxer?
Just like I did, coming up, just like I told you, I always like to, put God first and everything. So, just put God first. Um, then, stay focused, stay disciplined, forget about the hangouts, forget about your friends, so they call themselves friends. I've seen a lot of those, and they switch right away. First loss you take, they switch right away. So stay focused, stay grounded, don't ever get too big in your head, and just work hard. I just proved last Saturday, hard work does pay off. I came in there, I was meant to lose the fight, but my hard work actually got me to win. Work hard, listen to your corner, stay disciplined, and always put God first, and everything will fall in place.
Okay, well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking time to come on and do the random 20 questions. Hope they weren't too bad. Your jewelry's looking pretty good on you, by the way, man. I can't wait to see that world title, in the next interview. So, good luck on your career. It was a pleasure watching you win that title, and I'm looking forward to watching you win some more titles.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. God bless.
So, do you got anything to say to your fans before we end?
Stay tuned. Bigger and better things are coming in 2024, and it's only up from here. And thank everybody for the support.
All right, hold on, and the truth has spoken.